Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to This Just In. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, I wanted to give you an update on Mara. They just signed a letter of intent for their new data center. So I wanted to give you my thoughts as well as my Mara stock price prediction for the end of 2021, as well as the Bitcoin price and where I see that going in the coming weeks. So let's jump right in. All right, guys, before we get started today, subscribe to the channel for me. Hit that little bell so you get notified every time I post. There's also a link down in the description to my Patreon account. Come over and join the family. Be part of the Day One squad. We've got an awesome community over there. We're really trying to, build a long-term family that can help each other, and stay together on the battlefields of all these markets for years to come. You'll also get access to the private Discord where we talk stocks. You'll get links to 5 portfolios so you can see exactly what I invest into. And then anytime I buy or sell a stock, or I'm mapping a chart, or I've got a swing trade or a crypto trade, I send that out as well. So if that's something you're interested in, if you want to be a part of the Day One squad and really grow the family with us, come check it out. I think you'll love it. Current patrons, subscribers, Day One squad, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. You have no idea how much it means to me. But guys, let's get started. So today we're going to talk about Mara. I'm going to go over the letter of intent with you and just kind of give you my thoughts of where I see Mara going. We're going to spend a lot of time looking at the Bitcoin chart today and the Mara chart because, guys, the downturn in Bitcoin's been pretty rough lately. And as you guys know, Mara, it kind of mirrors Bitcoin's price. Not exactly. I don't want you guys thinking that I'm saying that Mara follows Bitcoin to the T because that's not the case. There's been multiple days where I've seen Bitcoin up, Mara down, Mara up, Bitcoin down. But it does obviously, have an impact on Mara's price. Now, if you want to see a video where I do a full Mara stock analysis, I did make one about 2 weeks ago where I go much further in depth on the company, what they do, what I like, what I don't like, their roadmap, projections, Mara stock price prediction. I will link that right here so you can go check that out if you would like. So let's get started. First thing I want to show you guys is the letter of intent. As you guys can see here, they signed the, what it is, it's a binding letter of intent with Compute North to host the 73,000 of the company's earlier purchased Bitcoin miners as a part of a new 300 megawatt data center located in Texas. Pretty much they're giving them an 18-month bridge loan of $67 million in tranches to construct and build out that facility. If you guys remember correctly, that was one of the main reasons why I like Mara and I was bullish on Mara, because they took those moves early on to take and get as many of those Bitcoin miners bought with that capital raise that they did. It killed the stock price. But when they did the raise back in December and they did that $270 million investment on all those miners to be delivered out till like middle or end of 2022, fantastic. Now, this right here is what is going to get them to be able to implement that roadmap and get to that 10.37 exahash rate that we all loved, or I loved at least. As you can see here, guys, the implementation is planned to take place in stages between October 2021 and March 2022. So that's just a few months away. I mean, October's pretty close, and they will have it all done by first quarter of 2022. As you can see here, once all of those miners are installed, once the facility's built out, everything's installed and up and running, Mara's hash rate will be 10.37 exahash. The company's average mining costs for hosting services, electricity, data center management, and hosting related capital expenditures across all of its facilities will be 45 cents per kilowatt hour, and Marathon's operations will be 70% carbon neutral. That's huge, guys. This is big. I mean, the fact that they're actually taking the step, they signed the agreement to get that facility built and get those miners installed is really going to help out Mara, with being more profitable, generating more revenue, more income, and being, a bigger force in the Bitcoin mining industry. Like I said in the last video, guys, there's really 2 factors that massively, affect Bitcoin mining companies. The first one is energy efficiency and energy cost. How much does it cost to mine each Bitcoin, per kilowatt hour? The second thing is your hash rate. How much Bitcoin can you mine in any given time? You could have the world's best hash rate mining an unbelievable amount of Bitcoin, but if your energy cost is outrageous, you're not going to make any money. On a flip side, you could have the world's best energy cost, 2 cents a kilowatt hour. But if your mining equipment and your hash rate is so low that you can't even mine enough to make it worth it, that doesn't work either. So again, guys, this is big. It's attaching both of those pieces, putting them together, and making it as effective as possible. Now, obviously, the Bitcoin sell-off has been pretty brutal lately. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of FUD out there in the market, but I do think that we will see Bitcoin turn around eventually. If you look historically over the course of time, Bitcoin has always recovered and made higher highs. Now, that's eventually. I do see a lot more downside in the Bitcoin price in coming weeks. Now, there is a potential that it could reverse and do just fine and move back up right here, but it's looking pretty rough, guys. As you guys can see here, back towards the end of April, it ran clear up and hit a high of the 64,850, bucks, and then sold off a little bit, came down, reached a low of 46, pushed back up around the 57, 58, and then got absolutely hammered. Guys, in this big crash right here, we saw like $8 billion in liquidation in like one day. Mara, Riot, they've lost like $1 billion in market cap. Bitcoin almost lost $1 trillion in market cap. It has now came down, and guys, it is under every critical resistance point. And so, it did hold right here around this area, around the 33,000 a few times. But guys, when it comes back up and it tries to retest and gets shoved back down, I mean, it can only retest so many times before it really just starts to bleed out and start breaking downward levels. If it breaks these levels, guys, I could easily see it, dropping down. If it breaks below 30, you're going to see 25, and I think we'll see 20, because in reality, guys, we really never tested those 2018 levels, those 2018 highs, where it broke up into the high 20s or mid 20s, wherever it was. And this, it looks like an area where I think we would have some decent support levels for it to hang on. Now, with that being said, if we take a look at the 4-hour chart, there was this bearish cipher pattern on the 4-hour. It was a really small bearish cipher, but nonetheless, it was a bearish cipher, and it hit the pattern completion zone, started to run, came up, retested, and then broke down. Now that it broke down, it did hold at that 33,000 range, but ever since then, it has now started to build a bullish cipher, excuse me. As you guys can see here, it didn't quite get to the 786 retrace, where it needed to be. It just got down about 739, but nonetheless, it did have a little bit of a reversal right here and is currently now sitting right below that, 50-day moving average, and it is now sitting right below that 20-day moving average. But overall, guys, I mean, it didn't quite get to the pattern completion zone, but who knows? I mean, we could see it come up and start breaking through these levels. I mean, it's just like anything. It's got to get through critical levels. You can see, though, we are starting to get, negative momentum, leaving. We are starting to get, like I said, on the daily. I mean, you could technically argue bullish divergence, if you were to take this low to this low, to this low, and then, compare it with this low to this low to this low. But overall, I mean, that's not very strong. I mean, ideally, guys, we've got to see it get up here, get on top of the 200-day moving average where it got rejected last time. But what I'm worried about and what I could see, I mean, even if it breaks through some of these levels and comes back up to, start retesting, it's going to have to reach an 0.6% retrace for it to even capture this previous local high. What I'm worried about is it doesn't quite get there. And what essentially happens is it has a short-term rally, gets up here, doesn't quite reach the higher high and bleeds and breaks back down. I mean, guys, it can only hit and try to retest these areas so many times before it breaks down and starts reaching lower levels. But we're just at a point of so much uncertainty. With that uncertainty, it's like flipping a coin. 50% chance it blows through and goes this way and starts reaching up and, going after higher highs, and all-time highs, or it can't hold right here and it breaks down and goes down through the bottom side. There's just so much negative FUD out there in the market right now with the Bitcoin Council, self-appointed, with the government regulations in China, and honestly, who knows, maybe even the United States, Elon Musk flopping all of the S coins and the rug pulls. And so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. The one thing I'm not worried about, guys, is Bitcoin has always recovered on any type of, short-term crash, whether it be a long-term over the course of 2, 3, 4 years, or whether it be over the course of a few months, whatever, it always recovers and goes and makes a higher high. So we may see downward pressure, and we may see it not break through these levels and come back down to the $20,000 range, which I think there would be a lot more support. But long-term, I think it'll do just fine. Now, if it does get down and break through those lower levels and get down to the $20,000 range, I could see some serious downward pressure in Mara. With all of that being said, though, guys, Mara has actually held up really nicely during those sell-offs. I mean, it obviously gapped clear down past this critical level right here. It did kind of form this harmonic pattern and start moving back up to the upside. But overall, guys, this level right here at like the $17 to $19 range, it was holding really nicely. It even started to try to advance right here, hit that 20-day moving average and got pushed back down. In the short term, guys, because there's so much unknown in the Bitcoin stock price, I think what I'm going to do is set a stop loss order down here around this $14 range, $14.21, because if Bitcoin does break down and it does start going after and attacking those lower levels at 25.20, I see Mara really coming down here and could potentially come back down and retest 10, 6, these major levels down here. The reason why I'm thinking 14, because I think if Bitcoin does have a little bit more downturn, goes back down, retests the 30, kind of sits there and trades sideways for a while, and Mara doesn't reach 14, I think it'll do just fine and start advancing. If Bitcoin does turn around, though, breaks up towards the critical levels above it and starts advancing towards the upward local high that it needs to recapture, I think Mara will absolutely kill it and start making big moves towards the upside. That new letter of intent with the data center is, great news for Mara, for the future of Mara, especially the increased hash rate, obviously huge. I like the strength that it was showing at the 200-day moving average. I just think that if Bitcoin breaks down and Mara doesn't reach 14, it'll do just fine and move upwards. If it does reach that 14 area, it's going to break down a lot lower than that. So that's my thoughts, guys. I've already given you my Mara stock price prediction in the last video. I think no problem if Bitcoin can turn around, reverse, get back over those critical levels and start making its way up towards the top and recapturing and making a higher high. Mara could absolutely get back up here, start retesting these areas, even get up around the previous high, all-time high, which was clear up at like $56. I don't think we're going to see that like anytime in the short term. However, I do see by the end of the year, Mara absolutely getting up here around this, $45, $46 range. If everything goes well, Bitcoin really turns around and starts advancing and breaking through, reaching higher highs, all-time highs. I could absolutely see Mara reaching these levels as well. But guys, the data center's coming up. I mean, October to March Q1 of 2022, excuse me. That's not that far away. That's great news for Mara. If they can come out and continuously show good quarters, of earnings up until then, I think it'll absolutely kill it. Now, I do like Mara for the long term, even if it does break down and stops me out right here around the 14 range. I would absolutely look to re-add once we started to get confirmation that it's going to move up towards the upside again. But guys, right now it's looking pretty good. I mean, all of the negative momentum's going out of it. You're seeing seller exhaustion, not only in Bitcoin, but in Mara as well. You could absolutely argue, bullish divergence right here at this level. We'll just have to wait and see on Tuesday what the price does and what the price action on Bitcoin and Mara does. And then gonna kind of go from there. If you want to kind of see what I'm doing and you want to kind of see step by step, if I'm adding, if I'm selling, if I'm buying or whatever, come join us at the Patreon. I'd love to have you. But that's it for today, guys. I just wanted to give you my thoughts, kind of where I see it going, kind of give you my thoughts on the uncertainty of the Bitcoin price. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed stockbroker. Always do your own research and due diligence. Don't just take my word for it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.